I thought he'd be taller.
I really think you have me mixed up with somebody else.
I want you to curve the bullet.
I don't know what that means.
Every movie, everything, what I'm doing, I want to be a spectator of this. I like the audience.
Only a few people in the world have this ability, and you are one of them.
I like the comic book a lot, and what was most interesting for me is it's a story of the ordinary man in ordinary office and horrible, like a slave. The person who is living in office from 9 till 6, and all his life it's this cubicle, and he's dreaming. He's a young boy. He's still a child, but his life is already boxed, packed, and he's dreaming about a different life.
And this is me, Wesley Gibson. Nobody.
I think the millions and millions of people around the world sitting in offices, they want different life.
I was excited by the prospect of playing a hero who is completely apathetic and finds it very hard to get out of bed, let alone fight for the freedom of humanity.
Like everybody else, I just keep waiting for a lotto ticket out of my boring existence and into a life that means something.
And I was interested by that. How can you have somebody heroic who doesn't care? And then the fun of the film became about seeing how this person goes from someone who really doesn't care about anything, not even about himself. He doesn't care about his own life. He doesn't care that his girlfriend is having sex with his best friend. He just doesn't do anything, you know?
I knew your father.
My father died the week I was born.
Your father died yesterday on the rooftop of the Metropolitan Building. He was one of the greatest assassins who ever lived. And the other one is behind you.
The fun of the film is to see how it goes from there to a point of proactivity, you know, of real kind of action, and that was fun.
Shoot the target.
Let your instincts guide you.
The movie, it's kind of like a medicine against office stress.
This is your destiny. Join us.
James McAvoy, he's a person who has this sense of humor. He's Scottish, he's from the same city who the writer, the comic book writer, Mark Millar.
I really think you have me mixed up with somebody else.
They're almost the same age, and they grew up in the same city, and I think it helped to keep this very unique sense of humor what Mark Millar gave us.
You can't even see them!
Your father could do it. And you can do it.
Not before, I read it once I got the part. Yeah, but it's very different from the graphic novel. The film they go in different directions. Although the first 40 minutes of the film are just kind of basically exactly as they are in the comic, or the graphic novel. But then they do go different directions. He's a very strange one, and a very nice one, and good fun, but yeah, odd and challenging, and in all the best ways. He was really good.
I believe it. When I'm doing things, I believe in it, and it's a secret. If I believe, then you will believe.
You just kind of have to go, read the script and go, this is crazy, like you say. This is very, very strange, and I don't know if this will work. But you just go, well, I have to open myself to it and give myself to it and trust Timur and trust the producers and trust the stuntmen and trust the people who are going to save my life if this stunt goes horribly wrong.
Someday a girl's gonna come along and change your world forever.
She's like a spin of the movie. The philosophy and the style of the movie, it's her character.
6 weeks ago, I was just like you. And then I met her.
She was a real example of how to do that type of film, because she's done so many action movies, you know. She really has a strong idea of how to do it and what works and what doesn't, and And it was good to have somebody of that calibre and that experience around. It really helped me, because I was completely new to that territory, you know. So no, it was great, and she was good fun at the same time. We had lots of laughs, and you know, she's a big Hollywood star, but she turns up on time and she works hard, and got a lot of respect for her.
This is what's been missing from your life, Wesley. Purpose. All you have to do now is embrace it.
Trying to marry the physical nature of the work to the acting side of things, which is great and demanding, very demanding, because, you know, you're kind of going, right, I have this scene where I have to go in and kill her and be upset about it and be like, oh my god, and break my heart and have like a 3-page speech. But just before that, on the schedule today, I have to film the big action scene where we run through the train and blow it up, and I'm climbing. You go, wait a minute, I'm going to be absolutely exhausted after this. How am I meant to do that? And so doing the physical work with the kind of acting work was the most, trying to balance that was the most difficult thing. I think the days of us wanting to see heroes who are, I don't know, completely happy and unconflicted and sort of wholesome are over. Even like Superman, who he did have conflict. He had his private life and his public life, and they were very much in conflict. But it wasn't really a major conflict. It wasn't one that you felt kept him awake at night. Whereas I feel like the troubles that heroes these days have, and like my character in this, and certainly loads of other things, I don't think they sleep much. You know, they're kept awake at night a lot.
Within this unstable world, every life hangs by a thread. We are that thread. Take control of your own destiny. Join us.
I mean, I didn't do all my stunts myself. I really didn't. My stuntman did a lot of stunts. He got knocked about a lot. Great guy called Rudy Verba, who's just brilliant. But the stunt that I did myself, that I'm very, very proud of, was there's a car travelling at about 30 miles an hour, and I'm running like this, and I jumped on the bonnet of the car, and then the car stops, and I go flying off the front and land and keep running. And I did it all myself. I was very proud. And then just as I go off the edge, a car comes in the side, goes, and that was very exciting. It was very, very exciting. But the film's full of stuff like that. There's lots and lots of those kind of stunts.
I was surprised, but it was the same. It was a free, very interesting, very emotional process, and collaborative. I had a great team, great people around me, and there was a lot of Russian people with me. It was the same. I mean, the same way how I like to do movies.
This is the decision that lies before you now.
In future, I prefer to avoid to think about it. I prefer to have a chance to do both. Maybe even in France. Why not?
Really?
Yeah, why not?
Do you like French movies?
Yeah, especially from the 70s. The one French movie changed my life. It was a movie called Dillinger is Dead, with Michel Piccoli. I was an engineer, and then I saw this movie one morning, and then I left. I quit and became a painter, and then director.
Every film you do, even like a period drama or a film about two people sitting in a room that never leave the room, you can never tell if it's going to work. It all has to be edited, and the editing is so important. But that's especially true in films like this. So I'm very excited to see it and to see if it's come together in the way I hope it has.
The sheep or the wolf?
I have a project working title called Saga. It's a fantasy about post-apocalyptic ice world. And I hope it will happen soon, this winter.
Yeah, it's a film called The Last Station, which is about the last year of Leo Tolstoy's life, and told from the point of view of his two secretaries, his daughter and myself, told from the point of view of his wife, from the point of view of his doctor, from his closest colleague, Vladimir Grigorovich Chertkov, and and it's kind of funny. It's weird, you wouldn't think it would be funny, but it's very Chekhovian and very... that's one that I'm looking forward to seeing, but that would be like a year away from now.